Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 51, so let's get to it. Episode 51 begins with an explanation and overview of the Pokemon World Carnation series, and a showcase of some of Ash's battles thus far. The last mention of the Pokemon World Carnation series was back in episode 39 when Ash battled Bee a second time. So I guess they wanted to give us a recap on what the Pokemon World Carnation series is, just in case we forgot after 11 episodes without hearing about it. Ash's battles are shown to demonstrate that he has worked hard thus far, and to reveal his current rank, which is 415, which is significantly higher than the last time it was shown, which was back in episode 36. Back then, his rank was 1021, so he has definitely been working hard off screen. Now in episode 36, he was in the normal class. In episode 39, his rank was not revealed, but it was mentioned that he was back in the great class. Now in episode 51, he is still in the great class, but he is closer than ever to the ultra class. The episode then cuts to Ceres Institute where Ash and his Pokemon are hard at work with their training. Pikachu spars with Gengar while Dragonite spars with Lucario, and poor Farfetch'd is sitting alone off to the side. Now Dracovish is not here training, which is odd. I would like to think that Ash would have his newest Pokemon take part in training, but I guess not. This would even the numbers so that poor Farfetch'd could have a training partner too, and it wouldn't be sitting on its own. But it's possible that Farfetch'd was just resting since it soon stands up and it smashes the ground to signify that it is ready to go. Ash approaches Farfetch'd to say that it's really fired up. Farfetch'd hits Ash and then it slams Ash into the ground, I guess to signify that it is so pumped that even Ash will get owned if he gets in the way. Go then comes running to inform Ash that there is a Geodude outbreak at the rock tunnel and he wants to catch one. Given Go's name and capturing tendencies, I feel that this is a reference to Spotlight Hours in Pokemon Go. Ash says that they should go to the rock tunnel and that this will be the perfect chance for Farfetch'd to train. So, Ash and Go arrive at the rock tunnel, but there are no Geodudes to be found. Go wonders if they already left. At this point I thought, well, did you check the time, Go? Spotlight hours only last for, well, an hour, so maybe you took too long. Now Farfetch'd starts smashing rocks which are launched all over the place. They even almost hit Go, but Cinderace protects him. Go is disappointed because he cannot find any Geodude, but Farfetch'd smashes a pile of rocks and it turns out that a Geodude was hiding below said pile. Go catches the Geodude that appears, so mission complete for him. Go thanks Farfetch'd, who simply turns around and it leaves. It's like Farfetch'd is saying I was not trying to help you, or I don't care that you caught a Geodude. Farfetch'd continues to smash rocks, showing its immense power. Ash reveals that his Farfetch'd wants to be a Leak Master, which means it wants to be the mightiest Farfetch'd and expert at fighting with a leak. This has never been mentioned before, nor has Farfetch'd ever shown any indication that this was its goal. Farfetch'd has simply shown that it wants to be strong. So this Leak Master goal came out of nowhere really. But I guess Ash assumed that this is Farfetch'd's goal since it wants to be strong and it is always destroying and hitting things with its leak. Now Ash approaches Farfetch'd like he did earlier in this episode. This time, Ash tells Farfetch'd that he wants to help it achieve its goals. And just like before, Farfetch'd hits Ash and then it sends Ash flying towards a wall. I guess in this instance, Farfetch'd is saying that Ash will certainly help it by becoming yet another victim of its leak. Ash gets down from the wall and he receives a battle request for the Pokemon World Carnation series. A miner appears alongside his Gurdurr. The miner introduces himself as Gemba and he compliments Farfetch'd for its strength. He does anger Farfetch'd by being overbearing, so Farfetch'd tries to hit him with its leak only to be stopped by Gurdurr. Ash then compliments Gurdurr since it stopped Farfetch'd's attack. Ash and Gemba then decide to face each other in an official match. Ash uses Farfetch'd and Genba uses Gurdurr, which means this is a battle between two fighting type Pokemon that wield similar blunt weapons, so it's a good matchup. The battle begins with both Pokemon swinging their weapons around, which creates a sand twister around each of them. This shows off their immense strength. Farfetch'd then uses Night Slash while Gurdurr uses High Horsepower. They clash, but Gurdurr attacks again right after the clash, and it hits Farfetch'd, who is sent flying into a wall. Farfetch'd ends up under a pile of rocks, but it breaks through them and it rushes Gurdurr. Farfetch'd uses Night Slash again while Gurdurr counters by using Focus Blast. But Farfetch'd hits Gurdurr in the head before it can fire off the Focus Blast, and Gurdurr is launched back into the wall. Ash then calls for Fury Cutter, a move Farfetch'd has never used before. Farfetch'd did use this move in the preview for this episode and in the latest special preview, but many people, myself included, thought that this was Leaf Blade and not Fury Cutter. So, Farfetch'd rushes Gurdurr with Fury Cutter at the ready. Gurdurr uses Focus Blast, but Farfetch'd cuts through it with Fury Cutter and it keeps charging in. Farfetch'd gets close and it attacks continuously with Fury Cutter. However, Gurdurr blocks all of the hits with its Steel Beam. Farfetch'd uses Night Slash instead, but Gurdurr avoids the attack and it hits Farfetch'd with Brutal Swing. Farfetch'd smashes into a pile of rocks and the battle appears to be over. Right after this, a mysterious trainer appears with a Gallade. Now they do make it seem like Farfetch'd is defeated, and I did think that the battle was indeed over when I was watching the episode, meaning that Farfetch'd loses the battle. I thought that maybe the mysterious trainer would then step in to help Ash and Farfetch'd overcome this loss with some coaching. But Farfetch'd smashes through the pile of rocks with anger. There are even flames behind it when it does, showing that Farfetch'd is still fired up and determined to battle. The battle resumes and Ash calls for Focus Energy, yet another move that Farfetch'd has never used before, and the final move in Farfetch'd's current moveset. Now this means that despite being a fighting type Pokemon, Farfetch'd does not know any fighting type moves currently. So Farfetch'd uses Focus Energy and then it smashes the ground, sending out a shockwave towards Gurdurr, who smashes the ground as well to block the shockwave. Gurdurr then taunts Farfetch'd by waving its hand, like saying, "Come on, bring it." It's funny that this is the same thing that Farfetch'd did back in episode 27, so it's ironic that an opponent now uses the same trick on Farfetch'd. The taunt works and Farfetch'd angrily charges in while readying a Night Slash, meaning that it attacks without Ash's command. Ash does tell Farfetch'd to not charge in recklessly, but Farfetch'd still charges in nonetheless. Ash then says, well, use Night Slash then, but it's clear that Farfetch'd was going to use the move anyways. The mysterious Gallade trainer watches the battle and he looks at Farfetch'd and Ash's lack of coordination with a look on his face that suggests that he thinks they have a problem. So, Farfetch'd continues to run towards Gurdurr, who uses Focus Blast in retaliation, but Farfetch'd avoids the attack and it lands a clean hit on Gurdurr with Night Slash. Farfetch'd and Gurdurr then ready their weapons and they approach each other with caution, waiting to see who attacks first. Ash and Gemba both express their desire to win. Gemba calls for Bulk Up and Ash calls for Focus Energy. Both Pokemon power up and then both Ash and Gemba call for Brutal Swing. Farfetch'd and Gurdurr clash and they keep attacking each other with Brutal Swing. Gemba exclaims that a leak can't possibly defeat a Steel Beam and Gurdurr does push Farfetch'd back, but Farfetch'd keeps attacking. It even ignores Ash's command to fall back. Farfetch'd and Gurdurr clash one last time and they end up in a stalemate with both of them pushing back as hard as they can. Farfetch'd exerts all of its strength and it manages to break through the Steel Beam. Farfetch'd essentially splits it in half like a swordsman that slashes an opponent's weapon or armor in half. An impressive feat considering that a leek is a blunt weapon. I guess Farfetch'd already has what it takes to wield a sword. Also, so much for a leak being unable to defeat a steel beam. So, Farfetch'd hits Gurdurr in the head with brutal swing after breaking through the steel beam, and Gurdurr is defeated. Farfetch'd wins the battle and Ash's rank is increased to 381. Gurdurr is sad that its steel beam was broken, but Gemba says that he will make a new steel beam for it. In the meantime, Gurdurr can use Gemba's pickaxe, which makes Gurdurr happy. All I could think of here was, hey, new Galarian form confirmed. Galarian Gurdurr, which wields a pickaxe instead of a steel beam. I think that this would be a cool regional form. Imagine how epic Conkeldurr would look dual wielding pickaxes. Now I love how Farfetch'd poses with its leek like it's showing off to Gurdurr that it's still got its leek in perfect shape while Gurdurr is stuck with a cheap replacement for its weapon. Genba comments that Farfetch'd looks like it still wants to battle and Ash tries to get a closer look at Farfetch'd because he does not believe that Farfetch'd still has any strength left in it. Farfetch'd simply walks away disinterested. Ash tries to follow it but Farfetch'd stops him with its leek. Farfetch'd is like, oh no, I don't need you to worry about me. Gemba then says that Farfetch'd has the eyes of a true warrior, that its resilience is alluring, and that it is a Pokemon worth raising. Gurdurr agrees with Gemba's assessment, and so Ash chases after Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd continues to smash rocks until Gallade shows up before it. Go wants to catch Gallade, but the mysterious trainer stops him by saying that Gallade is his partner. The trainer goes on to say that Ash is inadequate and that Farfetch'd is rough, unrefined, and it's unaware of its surroundings. Yikes, what a tough critic. He goes on to say that Farfetch'd was only able to win despite these weaknesses because of its immense physical strength. Go wonders if the trainer is here to offer advice, and the trainer says that even he does not know why he felt compelled to lecture Ash and Farfetch'd. He says that he could not just let them be. My guess is that he saw the huge potential that Farfetch'd has, like Gemba did, and it bothered him that it was being wasted due to Farfetch'd's recklessness and Ash's inability to command Farfetch'd better. The trainer greets Farfetch'd and he introduces himself as Rinto. Rinto proceeds to challenge Farfetch'd to a battle, which Farfetch'd accepts. Now, since there is very little time left in the episode at this point, I knew that this would be a quick battle and that Rinto would easily win since he is lecturing Ash and Farfetch'd, meaning that he has to be quite experienced. The battle starts with Farfetch'd using Night Slash, which Gallade easily deflects. This angers Farfetch'd, who proceeds to use Night Slash again and again back to back. But Gallade effortlessly dodges every single attack and then it pushes Farfetch'd away. Farfetch'd then uses Brutal Swing, but Gallade uses False Swipe and it hits Farfetch'd before Brutal Swing can connect. Farfetch'd is defeated without actually being knocked out, thanks to False Swipe's effect of leaving the opponent with at least 1 HP. Rinto says that he believes Farfetch'd holds immense potential and that it is a shame that it is inadequate. He says that if he meets Ash and Farfetch'd again, he hopes to see them battling in unison. Rinto then leaves, and I am sure that we will see him again in the future. The episode then cuts to Cerise Institute, where Ash reveals that he will train hard with Farfetch'd so that he can beat Rinto the next time they see him. Ash is holding a leek while he says this because he hopes to understand Farfetch'd better if he trains with a leek as well. This should help him battle with Farfetch'd in unison. And that's the episode. Overall, I think that this was an amazing episode. It was great to see Farfetch'd in action once again, and I am glad that Farfetch'd finally got some true development. This episode showcased Farfetch'd's personality well. In episode 27, it was clear that Farfetch'd is stubborn, it refuses to lose, and it loves pushing itself to be stronger. But none of this was explored again past episode 27. Until now with episode 51. It's very clear now that Farfetch'd is stubborn and reckless to the point that it even ignores Ash's commands and instead it opts to charge its opponent without any regard for strategy and it relies solely on brute strength. Farfetch'd hates to lose so much that it is easily angered when it fails or it loses. Farfetch'd's personality shines so much, in fact, in episode 51 that it makes episode 34 seem like a mistake, because Farfetch'd was easily defeated by Beast Halucha back then, and it did not display any of the anger, stubbornness, or recklessness it showed in episode 51. Episode 34 focused completely on Riolu's struggles instead, and Farfetch'd was downplayed, so I am glad that episode 51 finally gave Farfetch'd the development it deserved. The battle between Farfetch'd and Gurdurr was great, and I love how it all came down to raw physical strength, which really showcased Farfetch'd's innate power. Rinto was a surprise because from the preview I felt that he would be yet another one-off opponent that Ash would face as part of the World Coronation series. But instead, Rinto taught Ash and Farfetch'd a valuable lesson, and he is set up to be a potential rival for Ash that will surely appear again in the future. Now, I did wonder after watching this episode if Rinto would appear again before Ash's battle with Wikstrom or after, because I strongly believe that Farfetch'd will evolve during the battle with Wikstrom. So if Rinto appears after the battle with Wikstrom, then Ash will have his Farfetch'd ready to defeat Rinto's Gallade. But if Rinto reappears before the battle with Wikstrom, then he will be yet another trial Farfetch'd has to overcome before evolving. However, I no longer have to wonder about this since the title for episode 56 was revealed recently, and that title is Wikstrom of the Elite Four, the Hall of Chivalry, which means that Rinto will reappear after the battle with Wikstrom since the titles for episodes 52 to 55 do not indicate that he will appear in them. So, when Rinto reappears, it will probably be a battle between Gallade and Farfetch'd, which I definitely can't wait to see. Again, episode 51 is an amazing episode and I am very much looking forward to Farfetch'd's future in this series. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.